So fresh off our most inspiring win, probably the last 3 or 4 years, us Magpie supporters really are on cloud nine. It was quite an insipid first half, one that saw me abandon my post at the television to go to the gym and watch it there in the comfort of the weight room. Yes, I know. I'm sorry, Magpie girl.
House.
Yeah.
Ye of little faith.
No, look, it was just a half of football that made me think that maybe I could max out my bench press today with my rage. So it was. I did actually, and I tell you what, it was only as we were coming back, and it was such an inspiring sight. It's always an inspiring sight to see a young side fight hard, and really, really, overcome. No one would have expected us to come back from 40 points down. We would have been written off by everyone. But very impressive. I was super impressed by the effort and the endeavour. Magpie girl, thanks for joining me tonight. I know we're a little bit short-staffed, but we will hear from GC later on. But how great was that win? It was.
Look, it was awesome. I was actually all set to go. Had my raincoat and lunch and everything packed, brolly, and I got to the corner of Swan Street and Hoddle Street being dropped off, and the heavens opened like I would not believe. And my seat was in the open, so I parked out and went home, or went to my daughter's place and watched it there. But by half time, I was saying, "Oh, I'm really glad I'm not there," and then by 3/4 time, I was going, "Oh, I'd love to be there, but I'm also a lot warmer here." So, it was just one of those unbelievable kind of happenings.
Yeah.
A rare resurrection of the whole game. It was just brilliant.
It was almost surreal. You wouldn't have thought we would be capable of that footy if you had just watched the first quarter in isolation. And
you couldn't quite work out what was going on. It wasn't through lack of effort or anything, but they just couldn't. They couldn't get the ball, or if they got the ball, they couldn't keep the ball. It was just very. I mean, the pressure must have been enormous, but somehow or other they just kept losing possession, and North were just going bang, bang, bang. I mean, thank God the North forwards were kicking so poorly.
Yeah. I mean, as you say, and they just seem to manufacture opportunities so easily, and for us it became such a task, such a palaver. But hey, we got there in the end. And this is the thanks I get for tipping against us. So that was, I know so many faux pas this past week.
Oh, have you been in the confession thread?
Yeah, well, no.
You have much to confess.
I have many sins to confess, but look, great win. Looking forward to Queen's birthday. But we'll talk about that a little bit later on.
Can I just ask, what do you think happened? I mean, I know Buckley said it's belief, but what switched it on? What switched it around, I suppose? It's hard to say, isn't it? Is it a lucky bounce that just, I mean, suddenly they started clearing it out of the centre. I suppose it just takes a little bit of luck to give you an opportunity, and then you just go bang, 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 and, 3 goals, the momentum swings, everything changes, and it's fascinating to watch.
I think, as you say, a couple of lucky bounces and a couple of things go your way, and you start to get a sense of belief. And belief, I think, is such a powerful thing in football. I think you've seen it really empower a young team like Port Adelaide for 2 years in a row, where they can come on these huge bursts of run and find this seamless amount of energy from out of nowhere to run out games in the last quarter. The psychology behind it would be fascinating, because it's just the consistently pushing yourself to that level, and once you find that belief and then it becomes such a powerful thing. It becomes almost cascading. There was a domino effect where there was the turnover, then Crisp got the ball, ran to 50, knocked it through, and then it's 17 points. And at that point, you start feeling, okay, these aren't consolation prizes. We're in this now. And if you're North, psychologically, it's like we've thrown everything at this team. and we still haven't put them away. So whilst Collingwood's confidence is building, North are feeling deflated.
Well, they would have been a bit shell-shocked, as we were in the first half. But I suppose the really good thing was the way we fought it out in the last quarter, because it was, that North got those 3 quick goals and suddenly there was only a few points in it. And to hang on and then to, get ahead again, I mean, that was the real contest, wasn't it?
Oh, and that's what impressed me most, because there's an old thought that if you come back from, generally if you're that far down and you come back, the other side doesn't have a chance. They should be mentally shot. But North, to their credit, rallied, and they took the lead back off us. And as a young side, mentally that should have shot us. But it just seemed to spur us on. It's almost like we really enjoy being spurred on by the challenge. And you look at the couple of other games that we've lost. Okay, the Adelaide game should have been a blowout, but we clawed it back to a respectable scoreline. The Geelong game, we were blown out early. I think we got to within 14 points or 2 goals before, again, the Jesse White kick went awry and a few things went against us, and we just couldn't hang on. They pushed away. We've got that fight in us. It was just such a good thing to get reward for effort on the weekend. The boys can turn around now. This is great. It's almost a watershed moment for the club and for Buckley's club and for Buckley's team, where they can turn back and say, you guys did this. You can achieve this. You can overcome any obstacle, and it becomes the platform for building a brighter future for this playing group.
Yeah, I think that's what everyone wants to see. And, win, lose or draw, you see that sort of effort and resilience and belief. Yeah. And, that just goes a long way to, giving you some belief in your own team. You're seeing the fundamentals. I thought that picture of Buckley waiting for his team to come in was one of the most beautiful, amazing shots I have ever seen. The pride in that man's face, and it was just incredible.
You've taken the words right out of my mouth. I was just about to mention it. It's a lasting image, isn't it? And
I don't ever.
And you're right. There's
anything like that by any coach. I just thought it was an extraordinary picture.
Yeah, he looked so happy, so proud.
Yeah.
And you'll probably never get that image again, but it was actually very touching to see, Buckley just look. It's almost he just looked inspired. He looked so inspired and proud by his team, and that's just got to give everyone. From the coach down, just an immense amount of confidence in what they're doing being the right thing.
Yeah, just real joy. It was beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to ask, did you end up watching the roundtable on Fox Footy with Eddie Maguire and David Koch and the other presidents?
No, I've been reading the thread, but I didn't see the...
So if you haven't had a chance to watch the roundtable on AFL 360, they're doing replays of it throughout the week. Do yourself a favour, hit record, and really pay close attention to what Eddie says about AFL, the direction of AFL in our club. And he even got a lot of criticism from our supporters in the way that we've been run as a club and the direction we went in with the whole Mick Malthouse incident, etc. Watch what he says. And his direction for the club is so clear. His vision for the club is very clear. And he really wants us to remain the powerhouse we are. So I don't think there's anyone better for the job at this stage. But I was a doubter. I'd watch that roundtable discussion and have a think for myself. It's at this guy representing us, because he's doing a damn good job.
Yeah, there's been quite a bit of discussion on the board. There's been quite a good thread going. All the equalisation and the Swans and it's been quite a bit of engaging discussion. So, look, it's controversial. It always will be. But, yeah, I mean, that's his job, and that will always be first for him, I think.
Speaking about people doing their jobs, Nathan Buckley tearing his hamstring off the A man at 45 playing around with the young boys at training. He might not even get to the game on Monday.
Well, was it with the team, or was he playing in a, an out of hours kind of touch footy type thing, or was he playing touch footy with the guys?
I thought it was touch footy with the guys, but I could be wrong. Look, it's a bit of a shame. It's a bit unlucky for the guy. But what sort of effect do you think this would have on the team if the coaches are there?
Look, it's hard to say, isn't it? I think they'll probably play for him anyway. Could prove to be. It's nothing like putting yourself through the process that quite a few of your players are going through with her and experiencing hamstring surgery and the recovery period and the rehabilitation. I mean, he and Ben Reid will have something to talk about from now on.
They've got something in common, yes.
Well, the players. It's just rotten luck. But he always had iffy hamstrings too, didn't he?
Yeah, especially towards the end. So it is a little bit of bad luck. Look, if I know anything about Buckley the man, I would not be at all surprised to see him limp and probably be part of the warm-up kicking footballs around because he's Nathan Buckley and he chooses to do what he wants.
Yeah, look, I'm sure he'll be there if he can be. But at the same token, I think he does display a lot of confidence in those around him. And I think that's one of his skills in that he doesn't have that absolute arrogance that it's him or no one. So, yeah, look, I'm sure he'll be there if he can, yeah.
I completely agree. It's good to switch attention now finally to the game on Monday. Queen's birthday is always a big event for us, and I always get, I sound like a broken record, but a sense of uneasiness about this game because it is a big game for Melbourne. But I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm expecting to get down, and I'm expecting a good win. As a matter of fact.
I mean, it's always a contest with Melbourne. They're always a bit unpredictable against us.
Mm.
You know, they can lose every game up to now and then suddenly become very competitive when they play Collingwood. So let's hope it's a good contest. It always makes it a lot more interesting.
Absolutely right. And you know, we can't forget our premiership year when we drew with them and beat them by 1 point. So, you know, they're irrespective of the place on the ladder. Will you be going, Magpie Girl?
Yes, I will be.
Provided it doesn't rain?
Oh, no, I might stand up the back this time. It is, I must say, I have loved being at the footy this year. I hadn't sort of been to a live game for about 12 months and I've really enjoyed being there.
I see that one of my favourite young boys has been named potentially on the extended bench to play, Braden Maynard.
Yeah.
I haven't got the chance to go down to the VFL yet this year. You've seen him play a few times. What are your impressions on him as a young man, as a young player?
Do you happen to know what number he is?
I think he's number 37, if memory serves me correctly. But I'm getting old, so.
And which position does he play in?
He plays off the half-back.
There you go. Now, I'll just sort him out in my mind because they're very hard to work out, the 37s, 38s, 40s, 41s, and they all look alike. No, he's been playing quite well. He would be down there with Scharenberg and what have you, wouldn't he?
Yes.
That sort of area, yeah. Look, the VFL, I went last week to Coburg. It was freezing cold. Mm-hmm. But, you know, they are playing really good footy. And it was terrific to see the likes of Scharenberg was running around well, Abbott's playing well. You know, so it's good to see some of these guys moving up and, you know, just getting a chance to be part of it. So it's terrific.
I think it's great. I think it's always good seeing the young guys come through, stars of tomorrow sort of thing. So, you know, hopefully we'll look. As I said, the result is the big thing. I'm just getting a note in my screen from Laurie Holden. He looks like Pendle's and Marley's love child, which I think is fantastic. But look, we've obviously been playing well in the VFL. Carneza had a good game. Broomhead was exceptionally good last week. So these boys are going to be hard to keep out, especially with the likes of Kennedy, who's really shown a lot in the VFL this year as well.
Yeah.
So
I'm surprised to see Broomhead back and Dwyer named again. He played really well in the second half last week, and he's obviously going to be a player that comes in and out. I think he makes a good sub. And he maybe go out 1 week to let someone else have a go.
Yeah.
And maybe the same with Broomhead. They might end up sort of rotating Broomhead, Kennedy. Kennedy's surely isn't too far off getting a game.
You wouldn't think so. He's certainly playing at a level above that of the. Sorry, he's certainly playing above the level of the VFL. He's doing incredibly well. So.
But then there's everyone in the seniors, so
we've got 30 guys for 22 spots, and we've also got to name a sub as well. So it's mighty competitive down at Collingwood. He's named on the extended bench.
So they're just going to rotate the younger guys. They don't want to burn them out. They want to give them experience. There's going to be 3 or 4 that kind of get rotated a little bit, I reckon.
Well, you know what? It's going to be an entertaining game. It's going to be an entertaining rest of the season, Magpie Girl. I've been so impressed with what I've seen thus far. That win last week has certainly buoyed my spirits. I'm just looking forward to seeing what this young team can accomplish with one eye towards the future, saying what this team can become. So.
And who will play on Haritia?
Haritia, Senor Lumumba. Look, it really depends. He'll be running off a half-back flank, so you could envision someone like a Fasolo going and standing next to him first. Maybe Seedsman, as Laurie Holden suggests in the background, especially if he's playing on a wing. That's certainly where he's named in the team. So it will all really depend.
I don't own it there with them. Is Lumumba as fast as he used to be, do you reckon?
I think he's certainly still got the hops and he's certainly pretty quick off the line. I wouldn't be averse to seeing Marley have a run with him for 4 or 5 minutes, just because of the added physicality that Marley brings to a game. So see if you can put him off his game a little bit.
Yeah.
But hopefully another 5 goals this week from Elliott. He's been superb the last couple of weeks, taking his chances. So.
And Dawes will be playing. He's in the team?
Let's have a quick look.
I think he might have been out injured last time we played.
No, he is out actually. I think he may have had 1 game against us since transferring over.
Oh, I'm guessing maybe he's just a bit too scared to front up to the prize.
Well, you wouldn't want to go face to face with Jack Frost. I was always told by my father, don't get into a fight with an ugly man. He's got nothing to lose. So, and Dawes has got plenty to lose. So, but look, it should be a highly entertaining game.
I agree.
I think that's all we have time for this week. Thank you for coming on, Magpie Girl, and engaging in such a lovely discussion with me.
Oh, it's always a pleasure, Mighty.
And regardless of what I said last week, we don't function as well without you, obviously. I'm just gotta address that so it's on record.
Well done.
But definitely stay tuned for the chat with GC live from the Hall of Fame. But for now, this is the Mighty T signing out. All right, so our man on location, gone critical at the Hall of Fame dinner. Been an eventful evening so far, GC?
Yeah, it's been eventful. Unfortunately, I thought Jefferson Ackermanis be inducted, and he was actually very funny, but they did play that terrible clip of him being told by Lee Matthews to go front and centre and kick a goal in the last minute of the 2002 grand final, so didn't really enjoy that. But yeah, he was very good, and it's been a good night so far. Lots of very famous footballers here.
Who are the expected future? Because there's a couple more, I think, still to be inducted tonight.
So Bob Hammond's been done on being an administrator. Austin Robinson, who was a great full forward for the in Western Australia, but he was interesting. he was involved in World Series cricket. So on his table, he's got Alan Border, Shane Warne, Richie Beno's widow, and And if he started telling a few stories, he would have gone all night he's a pretty big fan of Warney, and he's a pretty big fan of Alan Border, but he's especially a big fan of Austin Robinson himself.
His speech was terrific, actually, hearing about his dad. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's very good, but he's not shy.
Give us a feel of what the night's like, because I've only heard great stories about the Hall of Fame dinner. It's one of the special nights in football. What's it like?
Look, if you like a bit of football history, I walked in and I walked past Lee Matthews, and then I walked past Ron Barassi, and then I walked past Peter Moore, and then I walked past. There's just on every wherever you go, there's just always people you say, "My God, they're one of the great footballers that I ever saw."
Yeah.
And it's just they're all here, and they all clearly are pretty friendly. So there's Murray Wiedemann just walking past me right now as we speak. And great night. Very enjoyable. I'm very fortunate to be able to come.
Definitely sounds like a special evening. So, are there any more inductees to come tonight? And who's the legend that they're going to?
I can tell you that the legend will be Tony Lockett, because Tony Lockett is here, and if he wasn't a legend, there's no way he'd be within 100 miles of this place. So
that's very true.
And he looks. I tell you what, there's one thing. He looks super fit.
Really?
He must have slimmed down from his playing days, but I was quite surprised how healthy and fit looking he is. And Michael O'Loughlin has a big table. I'm assuming he is, because I saw a table full of O'Loughlins.
Yep.
And here comes Terry Danaher walking past the sort of Gavin Brown all those years ago.
Yes. Don't get a shot to even it up, mate. It's all right.
No, he's gone now. He's gone to the toilet. I might come in from behind like he did to Gavin.
How does it stack up to say the Copeland Trophy? Is it a different feeling?
Yeah, I think it's because Copeland Trophy's about now, the current size.
Yeah.
And this is more nostalgic and looking at all the parts, and it's a lot of history in it and all that sort of thing. So it's much more a celebration, I think, than celebration of what's been rather than what's just happened.
Yeah. Well, we won't keep you for too long. Just a quick comment on this weekend's game. Looking forward to getting out to Queen's birthday.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, who wouldn't after last week? It was a sensational win last week, and we should carry on, shouldn't we? Really, I think from here, and at least for the next couple of weeks till we get some tougher matches. But you would very much hope that we chalk up a win this week, and chalk up a good win, because I think now we've established we want to be a finals team. Tomorrow, if we're not a finals team, then we've probably let ourselves down a little bit.
Yeah, well, there's definitely enough games for us that we can win, and definitely enough 50-50 games that we should be at least in consideration for. So I think you're right. And I'll tell you what, last week was inspiring, mate. So certainly loved watching that second half.
You'd be disappointed if they didn't do well next Monday, wouldn't you, Paul?
Well, the thing is I'm going, so I've got to get to a win at some point this year. So I bloody well hope it's Monday. From my perspective.
It will be. I think we shouldn't lose that one.
No, I completely agree. Shall we let you head back in, GC?
Yeah, I think we're just about to start the next group of induction. So go Pies, and if Terry down here works in a minute, I'll clock in combined.
No worries, mate. Cheers. I do thank you for coming in. Cheers, mate.
Okay, no worries.